Today is Memorial Day, and now at 6 we have details on all the local ceremonies happening today to honor those who lost their lives while serving. Plus,
happy that they're finally up. Should have been up a long time ago.
A home in Vancouver getting a major makeover after a car crashed through it, killing a woman inside. Why her dad is hoping changes made to the area can save lives. And later,
Malukas defends. Who has it? Over the line. Who's it going to be?
who's it going to be? More on the photo finish end to the Indy 500 and why it's breaking records. Coming up as your news at sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Monday. I'm China Green.
and I'm Matthew Herchick. Glad to have you with us on this Memorial Day. Chris has the day off, so Rod is holding down the fort once again. Good news, it's quiet on the roads this morning for you.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, don't jinx us. Don't jinx us. Good morning to you.
It should stay that way.
Yes, it should. You would think 6 o'clock right now, so we're 3 to 4 hours away. Some start in the 9 o'clock, some start in the 10 o'clock hour. The remembrance ceremonies at various, mainly cemeteries around the area. And if Futurecast is right, it will be dry here in Portland through the noon hour. Now, eventually, I think there is a scattered shower threat, but most of today's rain won't come in until the afternoon to the valley. You can see it just offshore right now. Different story for you folks at the coast. You could start getting wet in the 8 o'clock hour, certainly by 9. I think it's starting to rain. We are watching a wind advisory, but these winds won't come in until later this afternoon for the most part. Gusty west winds, 20 to 30, maybe up in elevation in parts of central Oregon and the Columbia Basin, some gusts to about 50 today. Portland, we're in the mid-50s out the door. We'll be 61 at 11, 64 at 2, and that's about the time rain becomes most likely with a front coming in. Maybe it's raining by 1 steadily, and then once we get through a couple of hours, maybe 3 of steady rain this afternoon, it goes back to scattered showers. More in your forecast, of course, coming up.
Thank you, Rod. Well, this Memorial Day through Labor Day weekend, you'll have to do some extra planning if you're heading to the Vancouver waterfront.
Yeah, each weekend during the summer, the waterfront will be a car-free zone. Our Celine Stevens is live this morning. So, Celine, when did this all start?
China, so this all started Friday afternoon. This is actually the first weekend that this pedestrian-friendly experience at the waterfront was in full swing. Again, starting Friday afternoon, lasting till around 5 this morning. So Vancouver's mayor says reducing vehicle access on Waterfront Way during the summer will let residents and visitors alike enjoy the area without congestion or noise and create an overall safer experience. The closure will be along Waterfront Way between Parkway Place and Esther Street from 4 p.m. Friday through 5 a.m. on Monday. And there will also be additional closures on Main Street and West 6th Street. The city of Vancouver tested the idea with 3 weekends of piloting car-free days, which proved that less vehicle access helped deter unsafe driving behaviors. But the move has gotten mixed reactions.
Open up the road again. I mean, I feel like it feels kind of empty without the cars driving here. I feel like that's what brings waterfront here.
I think it's great. You have people walking to the parking lot and people barely stopping at the stop sign, and they rev their engines up the stop sign and do burnouts coming out of the parking lot. It's nuts. Somebody's going to get run over.
So you can still reach the waterfront by parking in nearby parking garages, surface lots, using public transportation, biking, or just plain old walking. This car-free experience will continue through Labor Day weekend. Back to you.
Celine Stevens reporting live this morning. Thank you, Celine. Also in Vancouver, the Community Military Appreciation Committee is partnering with the National Park Service, the Historic Trust, and City of Vancouver for its Memorial Day Remembrance Ceremony. It starts at 9:30 this morning with a flag rising at the Vancouver Barracks Parade Grounds, followed by a ceremony at 10. Hot dogs and snacks will be served following the ceremony.
The city battleground also honoring the men and women who lost their lives while serving our nation. There will be a ceremony at 11 o'clock this morning at the Battleground Veterans Memorial. It will include performances by a member of the Battleground High School Band as well as bagpipes. The presentation of the flags will be done by a local Boy Scout troop.
Well, this morning we're hearing from the father of a woman who was killed after a car crashed into her house.
Yeah, years later, that home is now made safer thanks to some new protections. Jay Coulter has the story.
The city of Vancouver recently installing 27 of these bollards outside the home to prevent an accident like this from happening again.
Happy that they're finally up. Should have been up a long time ago.
When James Lane visited his daughter's memorial Sunday, it looked a little different.
It works. It'll stop a car.
Dozens of bollards now up outside this home that sits on the corner of West Fourth Plains Boulevard and Northwest Fruit Valley Road. This after his daughter, Danielle Abrams, was killed when a car crashed into the Vancouver home in August of 2023.
She came home from work, sat down, tended to their pet. My son got up, handed her the pet when the car came through the window and wound up on top of her, causing her death and killing the dog as well.
The driver was sentenced to more than 8 years in prison after she pled guilty to vehicular homicide by DUI. Lane robbed of more time with his daughter that day.
Danielle was quite a human being. She enjoyed her job and taking care of people.
He comes by a memorial he put up outside the house every few weeks.
Her favorite flowers were sunflowers. Some kind of a memorial. People walk by, they can look at it, read it. You know, I know a lot of family and friends don't want to relive it, but I live it every day because she's not here.
And he hopes these bollards can save lives at this house going forward. Jake Holter, KGW News.
Police are investigating a deadly shooting that happened early Sunday morning in the Centennial neighborhood. Officers were called just after 3 to Southeast 148th and Stark Street. They found an injured man who later died at the hospital. The suspect or suspects were already gone. Portland police are asking any witnesses who have not yet talked to officers to reach out.
In the Kenton neighborhood, it took a large response from Portland Fire and Rescue to get a house fire under control. They were called just after 4:30 Sunday morning to a home off North Wabash and Winchell Street. One person outside the home told crews that he had jumped out of the second-story window to escape, but his roommate was still inside. Heavy fire was coming out from the building.
When you have 2 victims, that takes personnel. That took the personnel of all of a truck crew. It took part of the personnel of one of our engine companies to provide assistance. So when you have those rescues that are made, you quickly go through the personnel that are assigned to this fire.
Firefighters were able to pull them out and rush them to a burn center, but the person died of their injuries. Investigators are looking into what caused the fire.
In Hillsborough, a part of town lost power and a stretch of road was closed after a car crashed into a power pole. This was on Northeast Cornell Road near the Hillsborough Airport Sunday morning. One of the pictures, as you could see there, showed the car lying on its roof. Fortunately, there were no major injuries.
The Salem Fire Department is looking into what caused a fire at a warehouse which houses equipment for the Oregon State Fire Marshal. It happened Saturday at a facility the Fire Marshal's office shares with Shangri-La. Crews say heavy black smoke was coming from the roof. They were able to put the fire out before it damaged much of the building, along with any of the millions of dollars worth of fire equipment.
Malukas defends. Who has it? Over the line. Who's it going to be? It's Frozen Quest. It's Frozen Quest. Oh my goodness.
One of the most thrilling finishes you will ever see. In a split second, Felix Rosenquist won the Indy 500. He beat David Malukas by 0.023 seconds to win the closest Indy 500 in history. I didn't see this live, but I've been to the Indy 500 a couple of times, and it is as exciting as it gets.
0.023.
Yeah.
That.
This pit crew saying, floor it, man. Come on,
Literally.
floor it.
Wow.
Yeah, he came from behind. I mean, exciting finish there. That was, whew.
Wow. It always amazes me when we show any of those races, how many people are there. I think they say it's the biggest spectator sport in our country. All right, here we go. We have rain offshore. Notice it's a solid rain band. It is with a cold front. Current timing puts that front into Portland at 2 o'clock this afternoon, with the rain starting maybe in the 1 o'clock hour in terms of the steady rain. It's still dry here locally, including you folks in Astoria and Seaside and Cannon Beach. Here's Futurecast for your Memorial Day. This shows the rain starting to get to the north coast around 9 o'clock this morning. Maybe it's a little bit sooner than that. What's interesting to me is that this doesn't show, here we are at noon. Futurecast does not pick up on any shower activity ahead of the solid rain band. So if that's true, Portland's completely dry all the way through the noon hour today. Here we are at 2 o'clock. The front's coming in. Here we are at 5 o'clock. And now the rain is through. So that would show us roughly 2.5, 3 hours of fairly steady rain coming in, starting somewhere in proximity to 2 p.m. Right now, we're seeing partly cloudy to increasing clouds. We're all dry and we're pretty warm. It is 57 degrees out at PDX, 47 in Hillsborough, so there is a variance, but 53 in Tigard and 53 degrees down in Wilsonville. Salem also at 53 degrees. Our map today, if you're going to be over in Central Oregon, you're watching us from Madras, good morning to you. You're all dry this morning, all dry this afternoon. It's an evening scattered shower threat east of the Cascades, and you folks will be warming well up into the 70s. Portland, mid-60s before the rain begins. Showers and sun breaks tomorrow, and then right now Wednesday and Thursday look dry and warming up into the 70s, and that is your forecast.